go, go, come on. Square business. We're talking square biz today, baby. National Parents Union. Spring Voters Jam. Yeah. Whoa. Come on in. Tell a friend. We get to the square business about today's event. The National Parents Union Spring Voters Jam. And to get to the square business of the jam, I gotta change glasses. And I gotta introduce the two co-hosts. Y'all stay with me. It's my pleasure to introduce Jacqueline Slade and Mecca Patterson Gertie. Now, first, like I said, he's a special host, and I got to give their intros. First, I'm giving you Jacqueline Slade's intro. She's a freshman majoring in political science and jazz voice at Johns Hopkins University and the Peabody Institute. She is currently an intern for Hopkins Votes, where she works with campus staff and distributes nonpartisan voting information to students. In 2021, she also advocated with the League of Women Voters to pass the Student and Military Voter Empowerment Act in Maryland, which requires a student voting coordinator for each four-year college campus, accounts for large residential areas, in the creation of polling districts, and allows military members to vote using their military ID. Now that gives military people to use their special ID that they have to vote. Whoa! In 2021, she also organized a panel of women in government, including a judge. Whoa! A clerk of the court. A Baltimore City Council member and state representative at her high school to educate young women about civic engagement and careers in government. Jacqueline is also a member of the National Parents Union. Next, this hostess with the mostest is Mecca Patterson Gertie. Is currently a student of theater at the Creative and Performance Arts High School in Philadelphia. She is the second place recipient of the ASAP Drama 2018 Broadway Division Award and the first place winner for Voices to Power 2022 Art Competition. Mecca is very passionate about encouraging voter registration among young people in their community and looks forward to working with more with the National Parents Union Every Family Votes Committee. Take that! Mecca is the daughter of Marissa Gertie, the Deputy Director of Parent Voice and Outreach with the National Parents Union. Let's get it started. Today's show, the National Parents Union Spring Voters Jam.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Spring Voter Jam Registration Power Hour presented by the National Parents Union and in partnership with When We All Vote.
We're so excited for y'all to be here for this event. We'll be showcasing interviews, playing games, and presenting slides, all surrounding the importance of the youth vote. But right now, make sure to like, comment, share, and spread the word of the Spring Voter Jam with families and friends.
Don't forget to use hashtag #EveryFamilyVotes and hashtag Spring Voter Jam.
No, wait, hold on. We got to showcase videos of high school students who are pre-registered voters that are bringing awareness to the youth vote and why it's so important to them. girl Rebecca, and I'm here for the Youth Spring Voter Jam, and I'm going to ask students some questions about voting. Why is it so important to vote?
Because you should vote so that the choices that you want to be made in wherever you are can be made.
I think it's really important to vote because if you vote, then you have a say in what happens to you and your state and your government in general.
It helps for many people to be seen and heard and to be given the opportunity to choose someone that will listen to their concerns.
It can be really difficult trying to find people who represent who we are as a person. People of minorities, women, minorities in general, period.
Age are you allowed to legally vote?
Oh yeah, 18.
18.
18, correct?
When you're 17 during the primary elections, you can vote during the primaries as long as you turn 18 by the general election. What? So you can vote when you're 17 as long as you're 18 by the general.
Actually, I'm 17. I'm about to go out and vote.
Is anyone in your family registered to vote?
Yes, I believe everybody in my family is registered to vote.
Oh, I think for the most part, yeah, but some of them they want to register to vote, but for the most part, everybody is registered.
Yes.
I think everyone in my family, because they all take that really seriously, especially since we're Hispanic, Black. Yeah, so we take that really seriously voting.
Wow, we just heard from some pre-registered high school students. Now, does anybody have any questions or comments pertaining to the video? While we wait, can DJ Stir the Pearl drop the beat?
I can drop it like it's hot, cause the spot is hot. We barbecue in 2022, and this information right here is making this morning incredibly fantastic. Cause I say it's like this, Mecca, and with the information you guys are giving the public right now, it's creating a wonderful weekend, and I say, wow, it's so beautiful.
Trust you, I'm gonna show you. Beautiful morning, yeah, the sun in my morning, babe. Nothing in the world.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful morning.
Give them some more info, ladies. Tell them what it is.
So this is our spring voter jam. We're doing a presentation here. Next slide. So the youth vote is very important. According to the U.S. Census, only 51.4% of people ages 18 to 24 voted in the 2020 election. And the youth vote is very important because when people who represent you are in office, you have the power to change what's going on in your community. So for researching candidates, you should make sure to research the primary candidates in your party before voting and search a variety of sources. And make sure the candidate you are voting for is still running because some are on the ballot but have withdrawn from the election. And we recommend using this site, https://justfacts.votersmart.org to research candidates.
Now see, what are the requirements to vote? If you are 18, you can vote. The general election this year is on November 8th, 2022. Some states require voter ID. But make sure to check with your Secretary of State's website to see what it actually requires. Now, when registering to vote, some states offer only paper forms, while some offer online services as well. Now, what are the different ways that you can vote? Voters have 3 ways to vote: mail-in voting, early voting, or election day voting.
Also, a lot of people can vote by mail. If you're a college student, if you're disabled, if a lot of times if you're elderly, you can register to vote by mail at either your college campus or wherever you are outside of your state or your county, or you can register to vote a lot of times at your house with mail if you are disabled or have some other impediment. Now, and also, I see we have a question from Ms. Rashana Cosby about can all 17-year-olds vote in the primary nationwide? No, not nationwide. Certain states allow 17-year-olds to vote in the primaries. I know Maryland's one of them because I'm from Maryland. So just check your Secretary of State's website or the When We All Vote portal to see if you can register to vote or vote in the primary nationwide.
Now, if you want more information about voting, make sure that you go to the Every Family Votes parent portal on nationalparentsunion.org. That is the Every Family Votes portal on nationalparentsunion.org. Now, we will take a 3-minute dance break. So DJ Pearl, drop the beat.
We gonna take it right to the spot where it's always hot. Can we barbecue in 2022? MPU making it do what it do. Oh, let's ride. Whoa, whoa, go, whoa, whoa, go. Get into your psychedelics right now. Get into your psychedelics right now. Whoa! I'm gonna get into your psychedelics right now. Follow me. Whoa, we got nothing but instrumental beats to make your mind just start warming up. Hey now, hey now. Let's go. And that can't even do it like this. You know what I'm saying? I do it like this. I do it like this. Whoa! Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Oh, 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 oh. Let's go. Don't be scared of it if you love it. MPU giving you info that you need. Get involved with this voter thing. You have the right to vote. Employ your right to vote. That's your power. And it's the power hour. Right here, make it do what it do. The MPU. Ow, ow, let's we got a lot more info. Ladies, keep it going. We got more info to give them. Keep it going.
All right, y'all.
Thank you, DJ Sterling.
All right, y'all. So we're about to have our amazing panelists. First, I would like to introduce Jaden Holloman. He is a young high school student from the Atlanta area who just wants more for his community, nothing much. While we wait for Jaden to come on, Jacqueline, why don't you introduce our second panelist?
Oh, our second panelist is Derek Cosby Hurling. Derek is from Linden, Union County, New Jersey. He graduated from Linden High School in 2020 and voted for the first time that same year. Derek has been exposed to community service and elections his entire life. As a student in public school in Linden, Derek ran and won the vice president seat for the Kiwanee Kids Club in his school. Derek is an artist creative who votes to ensure that laws are in place to protect and support small businesses. So, Derek, why do you believe it's so important to vote?
I believe it's important to vote because you actually have a say on what needs to be done in your community when you vote. You aren't just silent and you have like a voice just like everyone else has. And I feel like it can make a big impact once it's not you, but everyone else in your community who doesn't want to say what needs to be done, but still feels the same way.
That's really definitely important to register to vote so that voices in the community can be heard. So, Mecca, would you like to ask the next question?
Next question is everyone in your family registered to vote?
Yes, everyone in my family is registered to vote. We all been around like politics and like things like this for a long time. So it just made sense for us all to be registered to vote from like an early age.
Jackie, what is our third question?
Well, what has motivated you to vote?
My mom, she motivated me to motivated me to vote because she's a councilwoman. So it just kind of made me want to vote too and just get things done because I seen her get things done in like the community.
What were you one of those kids that would take along with your parents when they go to the voting polls? So you saw everything like happen in your eyes.
Yeah, I was there for like the voting polls, like putting signs down, seeing everything go like really happen. So it was just like voting was just like something natural. It was just like important for all of us to vote. She made sure of that.
So
Thank
did
you so much.
Oh.
Sorry, Jackie, you can go.
Oh, did you basically did you register as soon as you turned 18, or did you wait a little, or?
She had me register when I was 17. So like by the time I turned 18, I could vote.
That's really cool. Some states do allow you to register at 17 so you can vote at 18. I know Maryland personally allows people to start registering at 16. So if you're from Maryland, y'all, make sure you're registered.
Thank you so much, Derek, for coming to our panel. Next up, we're going to talk. DJ Stir the Pearl. Can you drop the beat again?
Beats to drop. Let's go. You remember? We go way back, cause I want you back to those poles. It's very, very serious. Let's get into it. I'm just saying, we not playing. Wow, wow. You know the beat, you know the beat, you know the beat. Bring it back. Whoa, more info. Let's go. Oh.
What's up, ladies? How's it going?
It's going great.
Thanks for inviting me on. So, I guess right now, since we're waiting for Jaden, I can talk about my first time voting. The first time I ever cast a ballot was for President Barack Obama for the 2008 election.
That sounds so exciting.
It was. I remember standing in line, and this was a digital machine, and so I didn't know that the machine was going to be digital. I thought I was going to like walk into like one of those little cardboard, stands and then vote there, but that wasn't the case. And so when I walked in, I remember seeing his name, and as a young Black man at the time, it just with the history of our country, like not even legally being allowed to vote, it was a really incredible moment for me that I'll never forget. I can still, to this day, remember placing my finger on the computer screen and pressing his name. It was like one of the dopest experiences I've ever had. What about y'all? Do y'all have any voting experience stories?
Well, my first time voting was by mail in 2020. So that was definitely an exciting election to cast my first vote in. And also it was like a vote by mail ballot, which was an interesting experience as well, because I always expected my first time would be going into the polls and, clicking the little buttons on the screen. And it was really exciting to cast a mail ballot. It was an interesting experience though, because you had to request it initially, and then they sent you the ballot, and you also had to make sure that your signature was perfect on the ballot and everything. There are some different rules that I wasn't familiar with. And it was also very interesting in the primary, particularly, to see all of these candidates on the ballot that had already dropped out of the race, especially for president.
Yeah.
It was very interesting, and it was an exciting first election to vote in.
So I have to ask you this crazy question. So was Kanye West on your ballot?
No.
Okay. I just had to ask because, he ran, so I wanted to see if anybody saw it. I mean, I didn't see it on mine, but I know that in some states he was actually on the ballot, so.
I wonder if people actually voted for him.
He got some votes. People actually voted for Kanye. I mean, people like music, we got the voter jam. So, people probably want to vote for their icons, which is probably not a good, thing to do.
Make sure to research your candidates, y'all.
Right.
Research candidates. Go to the Every Family Votes portal on nationalparentsunion.org, y'all.
Right. And don't forget to share this link too.
Share. When I was younger, my parents always brought me along with them to go vote. So I would see them like go into like this curtain, and like it's a secret, so you can't tell everybody who you voted for. And I'll be like, "Oh, what did you do in there?" My mom will be like, "Oh, you just like you click on the person who you think should be it, and then you press like the button." And I said, "Oh, okay, that sounds fun." And it was in my community. They have this little rec center that's literally like down the street from my house. And then in the basement of the rec center, it was the people there, like the voting ballots and like the machines and everything. I thought it was really cool because I thought that you would have to go somewhere really big to go out and vote. Like a convention center downtown or something, but voting could be anywhere. Like they would shut down school just for election day. And I think that
Wow.
that's super important because now people who have jobs or people who, are of the age can, clear out their day to just go vote and just like make decisions for their communities for everything that's going on. When I'm currently 17, so next year I'll be able to vote and I'm really excited.
Wow. So you're saying you saw your mom voting, so that motivated you to want to vote?
Yes.
Or is it just because you wanted to see what's behind that curtain?
Both. It was both of them. I was like 7 years old. I'm like, I want to see what's behind the curtain. But I think that whenever a child sees their adult figure do something positive, they're going to want to, it makes them feel like, oh, I want to do that too. I want to be like my mom. I want to be like my dad. I want to go out and vote. And I think that's very important.
Right. So a few years ago, we lost the icon, right? One of the voting champions of this country's history, John Lewis, and he said that voting is the most sacred thing that we have, right? And so, I kind of thought about, okay, well, the whole curtain thing, it's a sacred thing, but I don't think that he quite meant that, in that sense. What do you think he meant when he said that voting is like the most sacred gift that we have as citizens to this country?
Well, many citizens, such as women and Black Americans and Native Americans, weren't even able to vote for a very long time in our country's history. Like, women's suffrage didn't come until about 100 years ago. So being able to vote is something that is essential to our democracy and essential to who we are as citizens of the United States. And it's very important that we use this right, because then people who represent us will be in office rather than people who don't represent us.
I completely agree with what Jacqueline said. I learned about women's suffrage this year in school, and even though women fought so hard to vote, majority of the people who could vote were only white women. Women of color, Black women, Native American women, Hispanic women were not able to vote yet. It took a while. And now that everyone has the right to do it, we should all be putting our foot forward for everyone to vote for what's going on in our community, because everyone's always saying, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. But you have the power of a press of a button to vote for somebody that's going to campaign for you and your people to strive. So that's why I think it's so sacred, because you're an everyday person, but you still have the power to change, to move mountains.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So before so this question is for Jacqueline real quick, because it looks like Jaden is here. We're moving a little quick on time. So thanks for letting me pop in and be able to tell my story about, voting for the first time. I'll never forget it. So Jacqueline, you're in college. You go to a dope school. Congratulations, by the way, for getting into that amazing university. Did you guys have conversations? Did you have conversations with your peers before you vote? Like, what is that process like? Tell me about that experience.
I mean, personally, most of my experience is working at voter registration drives through Hopkins Votes. And a lot of students that I've talked to, they think voting is important, but they don't necessarily know how to vote, or they're just not registered, or they don't know what state to vote in, since a lot of the students at my school are out of state. So they have all of these questions, and at Hopkins Votes, I aim to answer them. And basically, some students they don't even necessarily, I feel like, have voting on their mind. And it's very important to make sure that students have voting on their mind, because especially with things like student loan forgiveness and even a lot of issues that are important today, like climate change, things like that, who you vote for is making decisions surrounding those issues.
Wow, that's good. That's good. All right. So another question. What about, so Mecca, you're still in high school, right? Excellent. So do you have elections at your school? Tell me about that.
When I was in 8th grade, we had a student council. And when I was running for student council, I wanted to be vice president. And so when going through that, it was a whole campaign process. Like they asked us questions on how we could better the school. I had a speech. I made sure that I had posters, everything. Now that I'm in high school, it's even bigger now because the student council, like a part of that committee, they can decide what we do during school. Talking to the teachers, making sure that everything's going okay. They host events, and we haven't had our re-election yet. But when going through that, everybody has a specific job, and they have to make sure that they listen to what the student body wants them listen to, like their demands. And I think it's really important that we start off so young doing that, so that when we do get older, let's say somebody who I was vice president. Let's say that I want to become a councilwoman. You know, I have this past knowledge of dedicating things to people that want to hear, like dedicating my life to people. So I feel like that starting that is so young is really important.
Excellent. Well, I guess I'll see y'all in a bit.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nehemiah.
Now let's drop that beat.
You ready to drop it already? Ready to drop right now, Jacqueline? You ready to drop it?
Yes.
Let's go. Thank you. Far too kind.
Can I get an encore? Do you want more? Cook it with the Brooklyn boys. So for one last time, I need y'all to roll.
I got a question for you.
Now what the hell are you waiting for?
Tell me what you're waiting for. Because we're all in this together. This voting thing is very, very, very serious. You heard what he said. John Lewis. It's our most precious right we have as Americans. If you don't know, now you know. Get your vote on. We all in this together.
We're all in this together.
We're in this together. Together we're tougher than ever. You get a finger, it makes no penetration. You get a fist, whoa! Feel me? NPU, keep making it do what it do. Spring Jam, Voters Jam 2022.
Thank you so much to our DJ Sterl the Pearl. Now we had Jaden, so let me introduce him again. Jaden Holloman is a young high school student from the Atlanta area who just wants more for his community. And we're going to interview, ask him some questions.
Hey, everyone.
Hi, Jaden. How are you?
I'm good. You?
I'm great. So we have a couple questions for you, Jacqueline. Would you like to take it away?
So, Jaden, why do you believe it's so important for people to vote?
I think it's important to vote because it's one of the few democratic powers that we have to raise our voice, specifically like as Black people, marginalized people. You know, the system's against us oftentimes, so we have to raise our voice and change the system. So I think it's very important.
Your second question is everyone in your family registered to vote?
Yes, everyone who's eligible to vote is registered to vote. And actually, for my first time voting, my dad's on the ballot. He's running for state house in Georgia's 61st district. So it's a good experience for me. And I definitely think it's important that we research all our candidates. And that's definitely emphasized in my family to research candidates that have our best interests at heart.
So when you vote, what's going to be motivating you to vote for any purposes?
Definitely more progressive candidates who support, you know, student loan forgiveness, free college, major police reform. So I research my candidates very well before I vote for them.
So you said that your dad is running for office. So has he taken you to any of the events of his that you just felt like so like intrigued by all the information that you're getting?
Yes, I actually want to go into politics myself one day. I just got done door knocking for him, and it's definitely intriguing, like, to see how hard it is for campaigns to actually win, and like when they're challenging people, like how hard it is to actually run for office, the money raised, and how many people you have to reach just in one small district. It just blows my mind, you know, the way American politics is set up.
So what do you think, whatever party they are, makes a good candidate to run for office?
The candidates that listen to their constituents and the people who are going to elect them, I think that makes the best candidates.
So you said that you would like to run for office one day. What position would you love to have? Like,
I definitely think the policies that I support, Congress, but you know, that's a far reach, but definitely like city council and all that. Like you said, you're in your student government. I am too. So it definitely sets you up to realize how government is set up, even at a small school. So.
So were you like one of those kids like that would take along with their parents to the polls and be like, "Oh, I want to press the button"? Like,
I used to go whenever, even if I couldn't vote, I always wanted to go with
yeah.
my parents whenever they voted and see how it was. And it's just interesting to see. Now that I can actually do it, it's just crazy. Like you have that power.
So what about your first time voting? Like, how did that experience go? Did you go like exactly on election day? Did you mail in by ballot?
I just turned 18, so this year will be my first time voting. But I'm ready. I think I'm going to early vote, so
Oh, that's great.
yeah.
Maybe also since your father is running for office, correct?
Yes.
So what office is he running for again?
The state representative in Georgia's 61st district.
So why do you believe it's important to vote for candidates all up and down the ballot, whether it be state representative or whether it be like someone running for school board?
Well, because many people don't know, like they just get involved in the bigger elections like president, but actually the issues that affect you the most are your local ones. They have a lot of power over the decisions in your everyday life, especially in a race like state representative, over your schools, over your healthcare. They can do the same things that Congress can do. Many people don't know that and don't know how American politics is set up as different levels that can affect you. And I think it's important to get involved in local politics too, that many people don't know, and getting people engaged in at more local levels.
When you were in high school, did you feel like there was enough engagement or like lessons taught about voting in general?
It started to become more after in 2020 because I was there I'm still in high school, but in the 2020 election, that's when I really seen like more engagement. But there still definitely needs to be more on like how to register to vote, because oftentimes people just tell you to vote, they don't tell you how, and it's actually complicated to get registered to vote and to get out there. Like there's a lot of different steps that take. So I think it's like kind of selfish that schools just tell people, oh, go vote, but they don't give you the steps and the information on how to register to vote.
So have you gotten involved in working with maybe the school board or voting for school board or things like that?
I haven't been able to, but I definitely will. But I haven't got involved with the school board. But when it's time for school board elections, I'll definitely be involved in making sure I get other people involved to focus, because that's what affects kids the most.
Our last question for you is, did you register to vote as soon as you turned 18 or were you kind of hesitant?
As soon as I turned 18, I registered to vote. But I understand some people, it's definitely complicated and it's time consuming, because even after you register here in Georgia, you still have to get approved and wait to get approved. I'm still not approved, so I have to wait for that, but I'm ready to vote.
Do you have any advice for young students that's about to be voting age, and like why you think it's so important for them to use their voice and to vote?
Because all your power is in your vote. And I definitely think one step is important is researching your candidates, because a lot of people complain, but they didn't research the candidates that they voted for or even vote at all. So I definitely think it's important to vote and make sure you know what you're voting for.
Thank you so much, Jaden. While Jaden goes away, we're going to bring back DJ Sterl the Pearl to drop the beats.
I'm just saying, he gave me some nuggets. He said, research your candidates, get involved. And what? It takes time after you register to vote to be able to vote in Georgia? I didn't know that. He's half my age and I'm getting educated. Let's go. MPU 2022. Spring Voters Jam, man. Wow. Wow. Let's ride. Let's ride. Woo-hoo. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Hey now, hey now, hey now. On and on. On and on. You know how we go. You get a chance. Please do this dance. Come on. Get him up. Get him up. I see you back. Come on, Jamie. Everybody. Jump on it. Jump on it. Jump on it. There you go. Jump on it, doggone it. Keep us on it. Jump on it. Jump on it. Jump on it. Look at go. Jump on it. Jump on it. Jump on it. on it. This information is very, very serious, and you better get into it so you can do it. That means vote. Your most precious right as an American. Vote. Own it, keep it, and most of all, do it. Every vote counts.
I just want to remind you guys to like, comment, and share, and make sure that you're sharing the Every Family Vote Spring Voter Jam right now. Make sure
Make sure to go to the National Parents Union Every Family Votes portal.
Now we're going to introduce Nehemiah Frank again because he will be interviewing Josh Till.
What's up, y'all? I saw y'all getting y'all groove on this early, 8 in the a.m.
The real question is, were you getting your groove on?
I was.
Okay.
I was wondering if the producer was gonna drop me in so I could show my skills, but probably a good thing because I probably would have embarrassed myself.
So, what have you thought about the panelists so far?
I think it's great. I think there are a lot of great questions that are coming up, and people are having some of those questions answered. And then also, we're inspired to vote, right? Seeing you young people as energetic as you are, and just seeing you already thinking about, the importance of voting. I saw Jaden on. I've had a chance to interview him a few times. I have hope because of y'all. So thank you. And thank you for inviting me to the space.
You're very welcome.
All right. So with that said, I am Nehemiah Frank. I am the Southern Co-Delegate for the National Parents Union. And I am also the founder and editor-in-chief of the Black Wall Street Times. And it is my pleasure to introduce my very good friend, Joshua Harris Teal.
Hey, what's going on, Nehemiah? How's it going?
It's going pretty good. So,
Jacqueline, y'all been getting it this morning. I was dancing on my side with y'all. We're having a good time.
That's right. So, with a proven experience as a community organizer on the local, state, and national level, Democrat Joshua Harris Teal is jumping into the race for U.S. Congress. Harris Teal, a cousin of the late Emmett Till, whose gruesome murder in 1955 sparked the civil rights movement, looks to prove that a Black Democrat from Oklahoma can be elected to one of the nation's highest offices. A former president of the Young Democrats of America, Harris Teal, 32, is running with an unapologetic goal to provide representation and resources for Oklahomans of the 5th Congressional District. Welcome, Joshua.
Hey, thanks for having me here. This is such an important event, and it's such an important space, especially for young people to get involved and get involved early. I've done a lot of work with young people over the years, especially in my previous role as the president of Young Dems. And one of the things I always say is, we hear all the time that my vote doesn't matter, right? Somebody taught people that. Right? Nobody just inherently thinks that their vote doesn't matter. Somebody has indoctrinated them to believe that their vote doesn't matter. And the only way for us to fix that is to make sure that the next generation coming up never has that indoctrination. We break that cycle and we get young people showing up to the showing up to the polls early and often. So I'm super excited about this event, and I'm super excited to hear just from all of the young people who've been on the call so far. Y'all are doing amazing work out there.
Dope. So how do people register to vote? I know we've been talking about that. Different states have different laws. Is there like a uniformed approach to voting in the United States of America?
So there is a base level, right? But that does not mean that there's a uniform system. The unfortunate reality is in this country, we have a lot of different voting laws from state to state, which makes absolutely no sense, right? If our democracy is founded on the right to vote, you think that would be universal across the board, but it's not. One of the main ways that you can get registered to vote, though, is to go to your local election board, get a voter registration form. It's a paper form. You can turn that in. In some states, they have online options. In some states, they're pushing for automatic voter registration. But if you're not registered to vote, you can go to your election board, and a lot of times your library or your post office, get that form, turn it in, and you'll be registered in just a short while.
Good stuff. And then also, so like the Black Wall Street Times is all about creating access and access being the new civil right. So is the National Parents Union. So if you are not registered to vote, or if you're in one of them crazy states where they like to just throw people off of, off of the voting poll, you can check your status at npu.org or the nationalparentsunion.org. Excellent. So, Josh, tell me about your first experience voting. So I didn't share mine about Barack Obama. I will never, when I tell you, I'm not lying when it comes to closing my eyes and literally remembering when I pressed that button, I can remember. And I remember when I walked up to that poll, I told myself, I said, you're going to remember this moment for the rest of your life. When I'm 89 or 90 years old and I'm getting ready to pass, I'm going to remember when my finger hit that button for Barack Obama. It wasn't just about, Republican or Democrat. It was just a significant moment in our nation's history. Just like Ketanji Brown Jackson is a significant moment, right? It's more than just politics. So tell me about your first experience voting.
I have a very similar experience to you. Barack Obama was the first person that I ever got to vote for. And I just remember getting excited about it. I actually ordered a Barack the Vote shirt back when they had those. And I thought it was the coolest thing. On my Facebook, there's like a montage of me taking picture. I took a picture of the package from outside. And then as I was opening it, and then when I took the shirt on, I wore it with me to go vote, which you're technically not supposed to do. But, I didn't know. It was my first time. And I remember it was inside of a church, and I was like scared to go in. Like, I don't know, like, am I doing this right? I have my card, I'm here to vote. I didn't know about any of the other people on the ballot because I went there to vote for Barack Obama. And I just think back to now, who else was on the ballot at that time, and how I had done no research about them. And how we, unfortunately, that's the case for a lot of people. They go in there and they know some folks on the ballot, but they don't know everyone. But it's such a powerful moment. I think you sit there and you're reverent of the fact that so many people have really fought, bled, and died in order for us to be in that voting booth. And we shouldn't take that for granted. And I try never to, ever since then. I'm always one of those people who show up. I try to vote, and I try to vote early. Sometimes I vote on election day just because I appreciate the atmosphere around election day. But whatever you do, you vote and you think about how this is such a really just sacred part of our society.
Absolutely. So here's another question. So I know that you are literally related to Emmett Till, right? So I want to talk a little bit about that just for a second. Let me just make sure Wendy's okay. I'm good. Excellent. All right. So the Anti-Lynching Act, these are bills. This is a bill that talks about police brutality, some other. Tell me what's all in this bill. Has the bill passed? I don't know what's going on with it.
So it actually did pass for the first time. What a lot of people don't know is there's been 200 attempts to make lynching a federal crime in this country, and it's failed time and time again because, unfortunately, if you vote for people who don't see that as a priority, then you'll get folks in office who will think that it's something that's not necessary. In terms of what's in the bill, a lot of people don't actually know the story of Emmett Till and how he was gruesomely murdered in Mississippi. I was there with other members of the family just a few weeks ago. Carolyn Bryant, the person who pointed him out, is still alive. She's never been brought to justice. The other folks involved have long since passed. But this was to send a message, right? Lynching, unfortunately, is something that still happens a lot in this country. You see stories popping up time and time again of people, unfortunately, who've been lynched, and they try to say, hey, this was a suicide attempt or something like that. And it doesn't really get the investigation necessary that it needs to, which is exactly what happened with Emmett. So the main focus of this bill is to ensure that that investigation happens, that the people involved are brought to justice. And it seems like something that would be a no-brainer. It seems like something that is long since been necessary. But the reality is, again, it's still happening every single day.
Right. So you touched on something that's really significant, right? And so the National Parents Union is we're a nonpartisan organization, right? So we don't persuade anyone to, vote a certain way. That is not the mission of the National Parents Union. But you said something that was really important. You said that you want to vote for people whose values are aligned with yours, right? Like it's not good to just vote for, anyone. You need to research how, what is, when you walk into the booth, and Jacqueline kind of mentioned it earlier about, there being tons of people up and down the ballot. There's so many candidates. Like, is there an easy route is there an app out there that people can access to be able to find out what, these candidates are about? Like, what's the best way to go about choosing a candidate?
There are a lot of different resources depending on what state you're in. What I would say is most all states have what we call sample ballots. And you can get those sample ballots as soon as the ballots are ready. That usually gives you about 2 or 3 months before the election happens. You take that sample ballot, and whether it's through a party, whether it's through a nonpartisan organization, or whether it's just Googling each person's name and seeing if they have a website or a Facebook page, you're able to kind of do the research yourself. It's not easy. It would be lovely if there was a one-stop shop for this. Ballotpedia is going to be a great resource if you have a larger race that they're actually watching. And then there's always local community forums where these candidates are asked questions. You have to do the work, though, right? You can't expect somebody to just give you all of the answers on who these candidates are. You have to look into it. You have to be interested. You have to kind of take a little bit of initiative. But if you do that, the information is usually out there. And if the information isn't out there, that tells you a lot about that candidate.
Excellent. Well, Josh, thank you so much for being with us today. I think all of the work that you're doing, set aside of the politics, is absolutely amazing. You are a true American hero.
I'm just trying to be like you when I grow up, Nehemiah.
Are you crazy?
All right. Megan, Jacqueline, y'all keep rocking. Thanks for having me on. We'll talk soon.
All right, DJ, drop the beat.
First of all, before I drop it this time, I just want to say to my well-spoken Divine 9, 1911 brother, man, let me tell you something, man.
Bring him back on. Bring him back on.
Say again?
I said, do we need to bring him back on?
I just wanted to commend him for the way he verbalized his thoughts just now. I mean, that was just incredible. And then learning some of the things and feeling the closest that he has to that incredible encounter in Mississippi that we all today have the benefit of benefiting from, and that was a family member. I remember back when I was a youngin', and might be telling my age, I was not able to vote for Shirley Chisholm. And then I did not vote for Jesse Jackson. And then since then, I've been involved with local voting situations where people have won with runoff voting counts. So I don't want to hear votes don't count. I don't want to hear you don't have an opportunity to help your community with that big, loud voice called a vote. I don't want to hear that. You got Mr. Till here. You have Mr. Lewis. You have all these things in history that if you, once again, Brother Till just said, if you take the initiative to find out about, it will move you in a direction. It will move you. And I'm a nonpartisan guy myself, and I like voting for people. And when you get a good person who has the community or the nations in their heart to move forward, you got to put your vote in, because your vote counts. Absolutely, your vote counts. Thank you, Brother Till. I appreciate that. My 1911 Divine Nine brother. Yes, sir.
Now come on, come on.
Yes, sir. That's right.
I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth.
We're living our best life because of opportunities from other people in the past. We have the blessing to take advantage of right now.
Ain't going back and forth with you. I'm living my best
NPU
life.
2022 Bonus Spring Jam.
God damn.
All this information. You got me feeling some kind of way. You don't know. Now you know. We doing some things, baby. NPU 2022.
Y'all gon' make me lose my mind. Up in here.
Let's go. Let's go.
Y'all gon' make me go all out. Up in there.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
Y'all gon' make me
go. Whoa. NPU is doing it for you. Whoa!
Oh, that was awesome.
Now, see, I hope that y'all all had fun for attending the Spring Voters Jam. Make sure to register through the Every Family Votes portal below and go to nationalparentsunion.org.
Make sure to follow the National Parents Union on social media for our next Voter Jam event. We're going to have so much fun. Just make sure you check that page.
DJ Soda Pro, can you count us out?
I'm gonna count us out because we all together in this fight for righteousness, the fight for peace, the fight for united people, the fight for power together. And that's what I believe. No matter where you are, where you from, what color, creed, nationality, we all are family. And as a family, sticking together, we can be tougher than leather. And let's do just that. You know the song, sing along. NPU, we thank you. This is 2022. All power to you and your vote. Don't take it for granted. On and on. Appreciate it and use it. But you know what?
We are family.
Yes, we are.
I got all my sisters with me.
Sisters, brothers, cousins, aunts, uncles,
We are family.
mothers, fathers, grandfathers, grandmothers.
Get up, everybody, and sing.
Across the nation.
We are family.
Let your voice be heard.
I got all my sisters with me.
Rock that vote.
We are family.
Locally and statewide and nationally.
Everyone can see we're together.
Yes, we are.
As we walk on by.
Everybody.
And we fly just like birds of a feather. I won't tell no lie.
No need to lie when the truth is working.
All of the people around us, they say.
Sing it.
Can they be that close?
Yes, yes, yes.
Just let me state for the record.
For the record, for the record.
We're giving love in a family.
Everybody sing the song. Come on.
We are family. I got all my sisters with me.
What are we? What are we?
We are family. Get up, everybody, and sing.
NPU
We are family.
Spring Voters Jam 2022.
All my sisters with me.
Make sure you stay in touch.
We are family.
So you can get what they give you. NPU, National Parents Union. Wow. Wow.
Living life is fun and we just begun to get our share of this world's delight.
Say what? High hopes
All
we
right,
have
everybody, it's been a pleasure.
for the future. Hey now,
And I go inside.
listen.
We know we don't get depressed.
Hey.
Here's what we call our golden rule.
Sing it if you know it. Yes, we are. Don't forget that we in it together. And make sure you use that powerful right of yours, the right to vote. Thank you for having me. I am. And I'll be back when you have me. See you when I'm looking at you.